I'll do a bit more modulation here, and you can see it here. I love how sharp and needly this sound is. Here's what this sounds like in context. Hey, how's it going? My name is Dan, and today I'm going to break down a song I worked on for an awesome artist named Elvon based out of the DC area. Here I'm going to break down the Ableton session of the song New Horizon, and I'm going to get into some of the sound design, some of the mixing, and vocal effects processing as well. Let's get into it. Okay, so a cool section of this track that I want to showcase here is the second half of the second chorus and then going through the bridge. I feel like this is a really cool spot in the track where it builds up dynamically and a lot of ear candy is all throughout the mix. So let's take a little bit of a listen here. So I'm going to break down each group of instruments here, so if there's a certain sound you wanted to learn more about, just jump around in the timestamps and you'll see everything in detail. So the first thing I'm going to check out is this group of strings here. These strings are doing a lot of the core like harmonics to this track. So I have a couple of contact instruments here. This is doing one layer. So this is just session strings here, and I have a bunch of tremolo and sidechain stuff on here to kind of give that stutter house sound that we're going for in this track. Then I just have some reverb and EQ to shape the sound how we want. Then we have this kind of droning string sound here, and I feel like this adds a bit of tension and a little bit of build in the chorus as well. Then when we go into this bridge section, you'll actually hear these string sounds playing off what is happening with the synths as well. So how about I just, I'll play a little bit of the strings first. So you got that pizzicato thing. Let's add in the lead synths as well. Back in the first part of the chorus, we also have this string doing a kind of call and response with the lead vocals. So you can hear if I play the whole mix.
Searching, yeah, searching for a new horizon. Searching, 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 yeah, searching for a new horizon. Searching, 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 searching.
Now that we heard the strings, let's check out the lead synth group and we can hear how some of those are playing off of each other. So if we step back to the first part of the chorus, we have this kind of whiny synth going on in the mix.
Searching, 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 yeah, searching for a new horizon.
If I solo that, this is a MS-20 sound, very classic sound, really resonant. Let's check that a bit. So I'm just modulating a lot of filter stuff here. You can see I have the resonance and the frequency modulated. Then we have this really big synth lead as well that's kind of doing a big hit kind of sound. So this is what it sounds like. And we have a couple of reversed samples here to help lead us into that. So producers, if you want a really easy way to resample your synth notes in Serum, go over to the header of Serum or Serum 2, find this hidden button, and just drag right into your DAW, and that'll show you the last played note in the Serum plugin. And then it'll be in your session, and you can do whatever you want with it. Here I'm reversing these synth sounds to get a bit of dynamics to the synths. Then in this second part of the chorus, we have this here. So in the second half of this chorus, we have this lead melody that's following the vocals. Synths, this is just a Serum sound pulled right off of Splice, and I just have some extra reverb on it. In the bridge, I have these sharp, pointy synths. You can hear them here in the mix. I think these sounds really help to emphasize what the vocals are saying and get the kind of point across in the track. And then I have this contact patch that is just mirroring what the strings are doing. This is one thing I do in Serum and Serum 2 to make my synth notes more engaging. So here I have these 3 notes, and I want to make them move left and right automatically. So here I go into the modulation matrix and I go to note on alternating, and then I go over to map it to the oscillator A or B panning. Then I turn this up as much as I need and I set it to bipolar, so it goes a little left and a little right at every hit of the note. Then I make sure it's on, and this is what it sounds like. So you can hear the note go a little bit left and a little bit right at the hit of every note. So it adds a little more dimension to the notes and helps them feel a little less static. So let's check out this synth pad. This is a pretty fundamental sound in the song. It really sets the scene in the first and the second verse. Let's hear it in the mix and then I'll solo.
Watch the stars burn as our hopes collide.
Cool, so you can hear what it sounds like with all the effects on. Now let's hear it dry real quick. And then with them on. So basically, I'm just doing a ton of carving to add a lot of warmth to the sound. I'm doing a lot of that with some saturation here and roar. I have a really sharp filter on it, and it is automatically going up and down a little bit to add some movement. Quite a bit of resonance on there as well. Then there's a really small amount of vinyl noise in the background of the sound as well, just to help add some dirt to it. There's a bit of reverb on it, and then I just have tremolo and filters for doing my like high pass, low pass stuff. I do a lot of high passing and low passing as if I'm like in a DJ mix to help with transitions and a lot of electronic songs that I do. You can see that here I'm starting to high pass this sound quite a bit. Let's hear that in context.
There's no one else here. There's no one else here. Searching, yeah. Searching for
The one mega thing that happens to this pad is that it gets really distorted in this turnaround before the final chorus. Here's what that sounds like. So it gets like turned up to 11 and then like dialed right back down, sucked into the void before the final chorus. And here's what this sounds like in context. So throughout the song, in addition to the strings, we also have a pad doing this same section at a different part of the song. And we also have these keys here doing some chords in the intro of the song and in the second verse. And finally in the turnaround to the last chorus. These beautiful, really warm keys are coming from Noir, and they're super filtered out in the mix, and they have a bit of extra reverb going on as well to help set a wider atmosphere than the VST has itself. All right, let's check out some of these bass sounds. Here's one in context. So the main sub and kind of low mid bass that I have going on here is coming from this preset, and I am usually hesitant to add a perfect fifth in like my main bass sound, but here I'm doing that in this octave here. It just worked with the key of the song and it felt really right, especially when I started tweaking some knobs to add some of that dirt that you hear with the filter and the distortion like this here. I felt like that really worked here, and I love how dirty and warm that sounds. It's definitely one of my favorite bass sounds that I've worked on a track this year. not because it's like super crazy or anything. It's not super detailed, but it's just really, it feels good to my ears. I'll do a bit more modulation here, and you can see it here. A bit more here. And that modulation, creating all of those changes in the sound, is just me tweaking the amount of distortion in Serum, me tweaking the oscillator warping here in Serum, and then I'm opening up the main filter as well. It looks like a lot of automation here, but it just feels more right to me to do it that way, and it feels more controllable for my eyes. I want to show you a couple more bass sounds here in this song, and I think the best place to show you here is in the second pre-chorus. There's 3 things going on. Here it is in context. Solo. Okay, you already heard this sound here. It's just a copy of the sound so I don't mess it up from the pre-chorus to the chorus with all of the modulation I was doing. But the main thing is this MS-20. I'm just tweaking the filter, tweaking the resonance, and then doing a high pass. Oop, I just turned it off. Here, let's do that again. I love how sharp and needly this sound is. And then my final sound in this group is this. It's not really a bass sound, but you could hear it. I think this is also a... Here it is. This is an acid preset here in Arturia. So a TB303. And you could see I'm doing the same kind of stuff, just tweaking the cutoff on the resonance. Now this sound is doing a sequence built into the sound, and I'm just tweaking the brightness of it throughout. Okay, so there's all of the bass sounds. I really love this bass group. It's one of my favorite ones of the year. Okay, so let's check out this huge drum group here. You can see I have a lot of random samples laid all over the place, and most of that is just to accent things. We really do have a simple like groove going on in the track, and let's play a bit of it in the chorus leading into the bridge. Solo. Cool. So we have really simple few kick and snare and hat things going on. This kind of goes on through the whole track. Layering a couple of clap and snare sounds together. Then the big thing in this bridge here is this percussion group. So these are all just samples, most of them from Splice, and I'm just tweaking them, reversing them, carving them out a lot with EQ a bunch, and just trying to help accent what Elvon is singing in the bridge of this song. So here's this group soloed, and I'll hide our loops for a second. It might seem kind of weird, like all of these random samples, but really I have the idea for like one sound that I'm going for in my head, but I want like different articulations of that sound. And I should be doing that with a virtual instrument, a contact thing, but I often find that they are so convoluted and heavy and bulky to work with that I sometimes just resort to samples and do it manually, and it feels so much easier to me. Depends on the project though. Then we have some loops going on. And almost every single loop that I use, I am pitching down to help match the key of the song. I am carving out harsh frequencies. I'm doing something too. I'm almost never using something statically. I'll often reconsolidate a sample and use it in a different way as well. I'm almost always grouping these loops together with different sounds to create like a layer. And then sometimes I'm reconsolidating things to kind of change the rhythm of them as well. Let's check out the full drum group. Couple other little drum things. Here's a percussion transition I want to fill you in on. Here's what it sounds like in context. And then soloed. You can probably hear I am pitching up this little thing at the very end to help it match the key of the song. I'm also panning it, got a spring reverb on it as well. I'm a big spring reverb fan. Here's another little percussion moment right before this chorus.
There's no one else here, searching.
Let's check out the effects group. There are a lot of effects in this song, and it is quite an epic song. So I'm going to just kind of poke around at a few different areas here and show you what they contributed to in the different moments of the song. I will get to all these splashy, crazy things, but I want to show off this little thing in the intro of the song first. So the beginning of the song starts with this atmosphere. It's actually from like a drum and bass pack, I think. But I love how that came together with these keys.
Who am I here?
Then we have some city atmosphere.
These city lights drown out my fear.
You can hear that here, soloed. The samples are being panned to help give that sense of movement. Then here we have some kind of percussive effects going on.
If you're ready to go, I know.
Going left and right.
Jump and run away.
One of them is like a laser sound going down in pitch. The other is just white noise. Then leading into the first chorus, we have some risers. There's a bit of an impact, then some lasers as well. And I do think this song would work without a lot of those crazy effects. Like here for a second, I'll play these effects muted.
Searching for a new horizon. Searching, yeah. Searching for a new horizon.
But I think we wanted to go for a bit more of a splashy feel. Coming into the second verse, we have these two things going on. I love a nice sub drop for that trailer feeling.
All these left turns somehow made it right. Watch the stars.
Here's some things helping us to transition.
As our hopes collide.
Play those back in context or in solo. So we have this kind of chime kind of stuff going on, laser kind of stuff, lots of ear tickling things that feel very stereo in headphones. I think they lean into that new horizon kind of feeling of the song and help give momentum into this second pre-chorus of the song. Final few effects here. So here in the bridge, we have these things going on. So it's kind of a complex transition there because we have big section and then we have this turnaround, which I'll play, and then we kind of go right back into another big section. So you don't want to like take the energy down too much. You just kind of want to help throw it there, then throw it here. So let me play that out in the mix, and you can kind of feel how those effects are contributing to that feeling.
There's a world where it's
Awesome. Now, when it comes to the vocals, I can't take full credit for how awesome these sounds. A lot of this is down to Will Everett, the vocal producer on this track, and I super appreciate the amazing stuff that he did working with these vocals and helping to add some atmosphere on top of Elvan's singing. And there's just so many cool ad-libs here. I'll play through a couple of them for you. One thing I want to play first off is this ad-lib that I did add a ton of distortion to help propel us into the third chorus.
It's not
Then we have these really awesome harmonies as well, and I know my color coding did not really work out very well on this project, and I apologize for that, but here you can hear these. I love the atmosphere that adds to the track. We have 2 layers of harmony. Everything is in stereo, and then we have a whisper thing as well. Earlier in the track, we have some really cool ad-libs with these throws to different effects, and here, let's solo those. I can tell that is Crystallizer by Sound Toys, and I love that plugin. Let's hear that in the mix.
as our hopes collide.
Here I'm doing a bit of my own ad-lib thing by chopping up the lead vocal, throwing it to a crazy reverb, making it very stereo. Then let's just get a feeling for the whole vocal group in, say, the bridge.
In every scar I found my love. Had to lose a battle, win a war, everything you're dreaming of.
I really had to do very little to get these vocals fitting in the mix nicely. The EQ is already spot on, just a little bit of brightening and a bit of extra reverb. But other than that, I think I did put soothe and a bit of decapitator on one of the chorus vocals.
Searching, yeah, searching.
Gives more of that pushing feeling.
Searching, 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 yeah, searching for a new horizon. In every scar I found my love.
So there's so many more details in this track that I could have showed you. If you're interested on anything else in the track, just leave me a comment down below. But I really appreciate you taking the time to check out this song with me. I'm super grateful to Elvan, their vocal producer, Will Everett, and this is just such an awesome project to have worked on. This is on the Freak Show EP that has just come out. Please go stream it. The link is down below. Thanks again for checking this out with me. My name is Dan Messersmith, and if you're interested in some electronic music production for your songs, hit me up at onechannelproductions.com. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.